Okay, for this video, we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So we're going to take that fractions of what we did before and use it now for mixed numbers. Okay, so when adding or subtracting mixed numbers, you need to add or subtract the fraction first, then the whole number. So, again, we need to make sure we do the fraction first, then the whole number. That's going to be extremely important for us. Fraction first, then the whole number. So let's look at an example here. We have 1 2/3 plus 2 1/4. Okay, to solve this, I need to make sure I do the fractional part first. So I'm going to look at my fraction, I'm going to look at my denominators first, and I can see that my denominators are not the same. So I'm going to need equivalent fractions here with a common denominator. So off to the side, I know 3 times, 4, is equal to 12. So my common denominator here is going to end up being 12. And let's see, 3 times 4 is 12, so 2 times 4 is 8, so 8 12s there. And 4 times 3 is 12, so 1 times 3 is 3 12s there. Now I can go ahead and add my fractional pieces. So 8 plus 3 is 11, so I have 11 12ths. Now I need to go back through and add in my whole numbers. 1 plus 2 is 3. And I think to myself, is this in lowest terms? Yes. Do we have any improper fractions? No. So 3 11 12ths is my answer. Let's look at the next example. We have 3 1/6 plus 8 7/8. Again, the first thing I'm looking at are my denominators. Are the denominators the same? Nope. So I'm going to go ahead and write my equivalent fractions because I need to take care of this fraction first before I do anything else. I know that my common denominator is going to be 24. I could do 6 times 8, but I know that 24 is a smaller common denominator, so that means I'll have to do less simplifying at the end. So 6 times 4 was 24, so 1 times 4 is 4, and then 8 times 3, so 7 times 3 is 21. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my fractional part. 4 plus 21 is 25 over 24. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my whole numbers. 3 plus 8 is 11. Now looking at this, I need to make sure, do I have any improper fractions? Oh, I do. 25 over 24 is an improper fraction. I can't have that as part of my answer. So what I need to do is I need to turn that improper into a mixed number. So I'm just going to bring over my 11, that stays unchanged, and I'm going to add to that the mixed number I get from my 25 over 24. So let's see. 24 goes into 25 one whole time, and I should have 1/24 left over. Again, this fraction right here is that mixed number, 1 1/24. So now the last step I need to do is add up my whole numbers now. 11 plus 1 is 12, and my fractional piece, 1/24. So 12 1/24 is my answer here. Okay, last one. 15 3/4 minus 8 3/8. Again, I need to be looking at my common denominator. In this case, it's going to be 8. 8 times 1 is 8, so 3 times 1 is 3, so 3/8 is 3/8. 4 times 2 is 8, so 3 times 2 is 6, 6/8. Now I can go ahead and subtract. 6 minus 3 is 3, so I have 3/8. And now I subtract my whole numbers. 15 minus 8 is 7. 7 3/8 is my answer. Okay. Now, subtracting with renaming. Another name for renaming is borrowing. So in some cases, we may need to borrow from the whole number in order to subtract. Okay, there's going to be some cases, this is only dealing with subtracting, that we need to do some borrowing. And this is why it's always important for us to do fractional pieces first, because you never know when you're subtracting when you're going to need to borrow from the whole number of a mixed number. And if you've already subtracted the whole number before the fraction, that's going to mess your whole answer up. So we always need to make sure we do our fractional pieces first in case we need to borrow. So let's take a look at this. So I have 4 1/3 minus 2 5/6. The first thing I'm going to do is look at my denominators. I can see that they are not the same, so I'm going to rewrite with equivalent fractions with a common denominator. My common denominator is going to be 6. So 5/6. 3 times 2 is 6, so 1 times 2 is 2/6. So now if I was going to subtract, I can't do 2 minus 5. So what I need to do is I need to borrow. So I'm going to borrow from our whole number here, 4. If I take 1 away from that whole number, the 4 becomes a 3. That 1 I took away, I need to write it as a fraction, with my denominator being my common denominator of 6. So again, that 1 I took away is now being written as a fraction. A fractional 1 would be 6. Oops. Come on. Having some trouble here. Okay, that fractional 1 again is 6/6. So now what I need to do is I need to add that in to what I already had before. So at this point now, I'm adding in the fraction 2/6 with the one that I borrowed, 6/6. So when I add 2 plus 6, I end up getting 8, and my denominator stays the same as 6. Now I'm just going to bring over my 5/6, and now I can go ahead and subtract. 8 minus 5 is 3, all over 6, and now I'm going to subtract my whole numbers. 3 minus 2 is 1. So 1 and 3, 6. I have to think to myself, is that in lowest terms? It's not. So divide by 3, divided by 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1, 6 divided by 3 is 2, 1 1/2 is my answer here. 1 1/2. Okay, let's do one more of these as practice. Okay, 8 minus 3 1/4. Okay, I have to think to myself, what fraction right now is with 8? What fraction is with 8? Well, there is no fraction with 8. So we would say that I have 0 fourths. And again, the fourths just come from my common denominator. I can see down here, 3 1/4, that my denominator needs to be 4. So I can really decide I want a fraction with 8 to be anything I want since I have 0 of them. So I'm going to say I have 0 fourths. Now when I go to subtract, can I do 0 minus 1? Nope. So I need to borrow. I'm going to take 1 away from the 8, and that becomes 7. That 1 I took away, I'm going to add in as a whole fraction, which would be 4 fourths. So now I can go ahead and add 0 plus 4 is 4. So I have 4 fourths. And I'm just going to bring over my 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and subtract my fractional pieces now. 4 minus 1 is 3. So 3 fourths. 7 minus 3 is 4. 4 3/4 is my answer here.